Welcome to Smash Metafiction, the side project of Smash Fiction where we put aside our differences and work not to pit characters against each other, but to unite them together in search of a common goal. This week, we take to the stars in the second episode of Surprise Party. It is a period of civil war. Rebel starships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Emperor's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. In another timeline, these plans were taken by Princess Leia Organa, who ultimately met up with a farm boy, a smuggler, and a handful of other misfits who worked to deal a blow against galactic tyranny. But I think we can do one better, so, as the opening crawl wraps up, let's get to work on making our very own, very special edition. I'm Dan Mulcairn, and I'll be hosting and judging this episode from the comfort of my meditation chamber orbiting the forest moon of Endor. Joining me is Claire Mulcairn.
In my experience, there's no such thing as Claire.
MeganBob.
I'm MeganBob. You know, from Smash Fiction. That is the very referenciest of references.
What is that?
That's a very bad reference from Campaign. That's how Lenik announces himself.
Yep, I got it.
Thank you.
I'm not up on my
That
campaign.
was just for Dan, I guess.
I appreciated it. And Kit Mulcairn.
Excited beep boop.
Oh, very good.
Oh, that's cute, though.
In case you didn't hear the last episode of Surprise Party, the idea is that we're taking a classic team-centric story, in this case, Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, and we are replacing the central characters with other fictional characters. Each of the other hosts will create their own party to brave the perils of a galaxy far, far away, and hopefully destroy the Death Star. Once each of them have their teams created, I will present them with challenges that they encounter along the way. The players will take turns choosing a character from their team and explain how they deal with that challenge. After that point, that chosen character is unusable for the remainder of the game. At the end of each challenge, I'll decide privately which character met the challenge the best and award points to the players accordingly, and then we'll move on. At the end of the game, when the Death Star is definitively destroyed and Darth Vader spins off into space, I will see which player had the most points, and they and their party will be declared the winner. So, first off, let's choose your characters, and in order to do that, we're going to be rolling initiative. And this is when you use those 20-sided dice.
Okay. Well, I got a 5, so I feel good.
Okay. Claire.
17.
And Kit.
19.
Okay.
Jeez.
Eat it.
All right, the order will be Kit, Claire, MeganBob, but this order will be rotating every round. The first character slot each of you will be filling is the Rookie. The Rookie may have a heroic destiny ahead of them, but at the moment, they're likely wide-eyed, naive, and inexperienced. However, they aren't completely useless. They may be young, but they have one or more skills that set them apart, whether that skill is piloting, quick thinking, or maybe just a useful, nifty item they picked up somewhere. It should be noted that fiction has a number of examples of characters who start off as rookies and then later develop past this archetype. If you choose one of those characters, you will get them as their young and fresh-faced selves, not their more experienced versions. Kit, who is your rookie?
Yuri Plisetsky from Yuri on Ice.
Yuri Plisetsky from
nice.
Yuri on Ice.
You know, I hear Tatooine has a lot of good ice skating.
That's right. Okay, Kit.
I'm hoping for Hoth, man. Wait, shit. It's not this movie.
Wrong movie.
Would you care to explain who Yuri Plisetsky is?
Yeah, he's this Russian teenager. He's basically devoted his life to being a professional ice skater, and he's very, very driven. He's a little asshole. And he don't take no shit. He's the ice tiger of Russia. Wish me luck.
Well, I look forward to you attempting to ice skate the Death Star into submission. So, very good. Claire, who is your rookie?
My rookie is the Crimson Bolt.
Interesting. I don't know this character. Tell us about the Crimson Bolt.
Have you seen the movie Super?
Oh, the Crimson Bolt. Now I remember. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Crimson Bolt.
His real name is Frank Darbo. And he's a sort of normal guy played by Rainn Wilson in the movie Super. lives a somewhat unremarkable life with his wife. He's a little bit unstable. He's kind of super religious, and he also sometimes hallucinates things a little bit. And then one day his wife leaves him for a drug dealer, and he decides to become a superhero to win her back. He does not know what he's doing. His heart's sort of in the right place, but he basically wears a very poorly made red costume and hits people over the head with a wrench.
You know, good for him.
MeganBob, who is your rookie?
I chose Jonathan Strange.
Oh, interesting. From Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Tell us about Jonathan Strange.
So it's the 1700s, I believe. Maybe the 1800s. It's the Napoleonic Wars. Let's put it that way. It's the Napoleonic Wars. If you know when that is, great for you. Don't brag about it.
Early 1800s, but okay.
Jesus Christ. It's fucking. Okay. Fine. Early 1800s. And at that time, you know, inheritance was a thing. So he inherits a little bit of stuff. And then he's like, oh, I have to do something. I can't just be a gentleman. I know. I'll learn some magic. And so he proceeds as kind of a charming fuck up. I mean, also, you know, an enterprising fuck up to try to pick up magic. He eventually gets real good at it. But initially, he's just like a confident landed gentry idiot.
Well, that is the version of that character that you will have for this. A little bit of magic knowledge, largely gentry idiot.
Yeah,
so that will be
that's
delightful.
my favorite flavor.
All right. The next character slot is the Scoundrel. Now, this is the party member who most often utilizes underhanded techniques. They are likely a dirty fighter, unafraid to break the rules, whether that means making their living outside the bound of the law, or just being sure to always be the one that shoots first. The Scoundrel is likely to have useful skills, underworld contacts, and plenty of tricks up their sleeve. Claire, who is your Scoundrel?
My Scoundrel is Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
All right,
pick.
Bugs Bunny from Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Let's hear about Bugs, for those who don't know.
He's like a sort of trickster fellow. I guess the way that I would describe him is that he exists to make other people look foolish, especially people who are either nefarious or may just be in a position of power and kind of douchey. He just likes to sort of take people down a peg. Always very cool, always lands on his feet. He can sort of like bend the laws of reality a little bit, and he is also a really good master of disguise. He tends to dress in drag a lot as well, and is just like a lovable little trickster.
Yeah, he's a real coyote type.
Yeah.
All right, MeganBob, who is your Scoundrel?
Zaid from Mass Effect.
Zaid from Mass Effect, Zaid Masani. Awesome. Tell us about Zaid.
He's an angry asshole and I love him. He's so stupid. No, he's not that stupid. He's not nearly as stupid as Jonathan Strange. He just makes bad decisions if there's money involved. And I really respect him for that. And he used to be like a mercenary and bounty hunter and just, you know, not a nice person.
Yeah, he's just like a real tough fighter.
Yeah.
Real good at using weapons and
he says
pulling
goddamn
dirty
a
tricks and
lot
stuff.
and then looks
Sure
into
does.
the distance.
Kit, who is your Scoundrel?
I decided to go with Sarah from Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, another BioWare character. All right, tell us about Sarah.
So Sarah is an elf. She is a self-taught rogue. She is very good, very, very, very good at using a bow and an arrow. And she kind of participates in Dragon Age Inquisition by not just being her little roguey self, but she also has this like network of contacts. There are other people who are very, very low class, but are obviously in the right places because they're servants. And, it helps with subterfuge.
Yeah, the Friends of Red Jenny.
Yes.
Cool. Excellent choices all around for the Scoundrel. And that brings us to the third character slot, which is the Princess. So this is the high-status member of the party whose biggest emphasis is on social skills, whether that means intimidation, persuasion, or monetary and political influence. But don't think that the princess character is all about talking. As Leia herself proves, the best princess is one who can think on their feet and perform a variety of tasks when and if diplomacy breaks down. To be clear, despite the gendered name, a character does not need to be female in order to qualify as a princess. MeganBob, who is your princess?
You know, I'm going to stick with what I put down. I put down Victor Nikiforov.
What is
More
with
of
you
a
guys?
princess than that man. Nobody.
All right, so our second Yuri on Ice character enters the battlefield.
Bob, I'm so proud of us.
I know.
All right, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about Viktor Nikiforov?
He's a beautiful Russian skate god who everybody loves and wants to be like, and also everybody hates and has a lot of feelings about. But whenever he swans into a room, that's how he moves. He does not walk, he only swans. They all look at him. That's just who he is. He's just a charming, weirdly powerful being.
Fantastic. Kit, who is your princess?
I went the basic route and picked an actual princess.
Okay.
I'm going with Princess Jasmine.
Oh, that's
Princess
a good
Jasmine from
princess.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good
From
choice.
Disney's Aladdin, I should
Yes.
say. Cool.
If you don't know who this character is, what the fuck is, where have you, what? What?
Oh my
Let's-
god.
well,
Just
humor
in
us.
case,
Yes.
but just in case.
No, Kit, some of our listeners were born after that movie came out.
An 18-year-old was born like 7 years after that movie came out, so yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
Well,
we're
but
ancient now.
it's-
We're all dying.
It's such a classic. You still gotta see it. Doesn't matter if it's old. Anyway, she's from the Disney movie Aladdin, and she's a pretty badass princess. The setting is very Arabian Nights, right? So she's the daughter of the Sultan. She's that classic princess that wants to get out and see the world and doesn't like being stifled and kept in the castle. And in the movie, you find that she's actually pretty capable of doing like parkour stick stunts.
Yeah.
And she's also got a fucking tiger, so deal with it.
She also becomes a lot more of an action hero in the Aladdin TV show,
I
which
love
came
that
shortly
TV
afterwards.
show so much.
All right, Claire, who is your princess?
My princess is Satsuki Kiryuin from Kill la Kill.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Tell us about Satsuki.
Yeah, so she's the president of the student council. She is super cold and calculating and hella rich, and basically everyone in the school bends over backwards to do whatever she wants. She's super composed all the time. She has a weird thing about always liking to be standing up on elevated platforms above other people when she addresses them. Like if even like whenever there's some high point, she like goes and stands up on top of it to like be superior to people. She has the craziest freaking willpower you've ever seen. She's amazing.
Very good. The fourth character slot is the Mystic. The Mystic is primarily defined by their supernatural abilities. These abilities can be magical, divine, psionic, or something else entirely, but it should be something wide-reaching and impressive. The Mystic will often be someone who can provide insight and wisdom to the party, but this is not strictly necessary. Kit, who is your Mystic?
Mewtwo, motherfuckers.
Mewtwo! Pokemon number 150. Tell us about Mewtwo.
He was genetically created from the DNA of a very ancient Pokemon called Mew. He's super duper strong. For that universe, I think he might be the strongest telekinetic.
Yeah.
And he looks like a big old kitty man.
He's like a really weird bipedal cat thing.
He's like a kitty kangaroo, basically.
Yeah, he does kind of have like a kangaroo silhouette,
Yep.
but like a little kitty.
All right.
Not little. He's like people-sized, and he will create storms on the ocean. That's how powerful his telekinesis is.
All right. Claire, who is your Mystic?
My mystic is Garnet from Steven Universe.
Oh,
Because I mean,
all right.
so
yeah.
nice.
Tell us about Garnet.
So Garnet is a member of the Crystal Gems, which is a superhero team. Early on in the series, she seems sort of mysterious and maybe a little bit cold. But as you get to know her better, you find out that she's an incredibly warm and caring person. She also has the ability to see the future. It's sort of all about like predicting probabilities and that kind of thing. It's not perfect, but it comes in handy a lot. She often ends up being the sort of tactical leader of the team. And she also can really kick ass in a fight. She can summon these weapons, which are these giant like metal gloves. She's superhumanly strong. She's basically invulnerable. She can leap tall buildings in a single bound, all that stuff, you know.
And as we learned in our episode Roger Rabbit versus the Mask, she's very good at playing basketball.
She is very good at playing basketball.
MeganBob, who is your Mystic?
I chose Galadriel.
Galadriel from Lord of the Rings. She's drifted on over from our last surprise party.
Yeah.
Tell us about Galadriel.
You know, so she's an elf, and the thing about elf magic is that it's kind of everywhere all the time, and it's not necessarily flashy, but Lothlorien doesn't have a lot of shit that goes wrong in it, so something's okay there. She can see past, present, future type stuff, and then also, God, her charm is overwhelming. She won over a dwarf. Come on, guys.
Okay, excellent. The fifth character slot is the Astromech. Star Wars is a tech-heavy universe, which makes this character particularly useful because the Astromech is a master of all things technological. If it has circuitry and an interface, the Astromech will be able to fix it or hack it as needed. It should be noted that a character does not have to be a robot or a droid to qualify for a position as an astromech. Claire, who is your astromech?
My astromech is Mitchell 100, aka the Great Machine from the comic series Ex Machina.
That is a very good choice for an astromech. Tell us about Mr. 100.
So he is a former superhero. He retired from being a superhero to run for mayor of New York because he thought he could do more good working within the system. And he has the ability to speak to machines and they follow his commands. It's through his voice. He tells them to do something and they do it. And the more complex the machine is, actually the more likely it is to follow him. So he's better at controlling a computer than he is at controlling, say, a gun.
Very good. MeganBob, who is your astromech?
I chose Edna Mode from The Incredibles.
Tell us about Edna Mode.
You know, she is not just a fashion designer who designs costumes for superheroes. She is a textile wizard. She understands what things are made of and how they interact and what they do. And so she often fabricates things herself. So she can look at something and pull it apart and figure out what works. Also, if there's any weaknesses to be had in anybody's costume, she will figure it out.
Well, I can think of one notable character in Star Wars who wears a cape, and I think she's going to zero in right on
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Kit, who is your astromech?
Mi chica Sombra.
I had a feeling. Tell us about Sombra from Overwatch.
She's one of the greatest hackers in the world. She's from Mexico and grew up during a kind of apocalyptic robot-y uprising, so she became an orphan. She learned to hack very early on. Her main goal is to basically know everything about the most powerful people. And she's trying to get to the bottom of this weird organization that connects everything in Overwatch. She's not a good guy, though she has done some kind of good things by taking down big bad corporations and stuff. But I think that just so happened to be the way it worked out.
I think that's accurate, yes.
Yeah.
All right, very good choices for everyone's astromechs. And the sixth and final character slot is, of course, the dumpus. The dumpus may have some sort of skills or abilities, but for whatever reason, they are much more likely to be a liability to the party than an asset. A real Jar Jar, if you catch my drift. The players will not be choosing their own dumpus, however. They will be assigning a dumpus role to another player. MeganBob, who is Kit's dumpus?
Your dumpus is Bernard Black from Black Books.
Okay.
I have no idea who that is.
I know Kit has never seen Black Book, so you'll probably have to explain that to her.
Okay, so he owns a bookstore, but he hates owning a bookstore because people want to buy books, and he spends all of his day being an unwashed wine drunk.
All right.
Kit, who is Claire's dumpus?
Claire, I'm so sorry, but I'm happy.
All right.
You get old Rick Deckard.
No! Why would you do this to me?
Oh my
I was hoping it wasn't gonna be you, but I'm happy.
God. Old Rick Deckard.
I didn't think you'd bring your stuff to this sacred place, Kit.
Just crush that turd until it's a diamond.
Now, we recently talked at length about old Rick Deckard on this very show, but Kit, very briefly, sum up Rick Deckard from Blade Runner 2049.
He's worthless.
Okay, great.
He used to be a Blade Runner, which is a guy who gets rid of, advanced people, I guess. He wasn't that good of a detective when he was young. Certainly not good enough to beat Major Kusanagi. And all he likes is toasted cheese and giving up on life. That's what the second movie taught me. So there you go.
I don't you're not making it sound that bad, but okay.
All right. Claire, who is MeganBob's dumpus?
MeganBob's dumpus is Slippy from Star Fox.
I like Slippy.
There you go.
All right, Claire, why don't you tell us a little bit about Slippy?
So Slippy Toad is a member of Star Fox, who in theory is the tech guy. He has the ability to scan enemy shields and make enemy life bars appear. But mainly most of the time, you just have to rescue him from getting blown up by enemies because he's just awful. He's not a very good pilot and he just gets into trouble. There's an entire mission which takes place on the planet Titania, which is all about rescuing him after he crashes his ship because he's being a dumbass.
All right, well, everyone now has a party of 6 characters, but before you make the jump to hyperspace, we're going to play a quick round of musical chairs. So each of you please roll a d6.
Please, someone get 2 dumpuses. Please let it not be me. I want to see it happen.
All right.
Okay. Kit, what did you get?
5.
Okay. Kit, I'm sorry. You will be giving Sombra to Claire.
Well, at least Claire knows what to do with Sombra.
True.
Yeah, good. That's better.
Claire, what did you get?
I actually also got a 5, so I'm handing off Mitchell 100, the great
Yeah,
machine.
you sure are. The
Sorry,
lead
Bob.
character from Ex Machina to Bob.
Yeah.
Let me write that down.
MeganBob, what did you get?
I got a 2.
Okay. MeganBob, you will be handing Zaid Masani to Kit.
Oh, at least I know what to do with Saeed.
Okay, be good to him. I love him.
Bob, I don't love Saeed.
Why not?
I don't know. He's too grumpy.
Oh, what? Oh.
He's got that accent.
You know what? The accent's the best thing about
I
him.
want to eat him. He's so... fine.
All right, so players, please introduce your respective band of rebel scum to the world. Kit.
So for my scoundrel, I have Sarah, and I guess also Zaid.
Mm-hmm.
For my princess, I have Jasmine. For my mystic, I have you two. I have no astromech, no droid, no Rethi. My favorite character in Star Wars, and I don't even have that class. For the rookie, I have Yuri Plisetsky. And for my dumpus, I have Bernard Black, whose Wikipedia page I'm reading right now. He sounds great.
Claire, how about you?
For my rookie, I have Frank Darbo, the Crimson Bolt. For my scoundrel, I have Bugs Bunny. For my princess, I have Satsuki. For my mystic, I have Garnet. For my astromech, I have Sombra. And for my dumpus, I have old Rick Deckard.
And MeganBob.
I guess I don't have a scoundrel anymore. My princess is Victor Nikiforov. My mystic is Galadriel. My novice is Jonathan Strange. My astromechs are Edna Mode and Mitchell 100. And then my dumpus is Slippy Frog, who's pretty okay.
Slippy Toad. Get
Slippy
it right.
Toad.
God damn it.
And with that, let's head out to that galaxy far, far away. Chapter 1. Assault on Tantive 4. Far above the desert world of Tatooine, the CR-90 corvette called the Tantive 4 flees in vain from the enormous Imperial Star Destroyer that has pursued it all the way from the Battle of Scarif. Here, however, the chase ends, as the Tantive 4 is caught in the Star Destroyer's tractor beam and dragged into captivity. As the crew of the ship fights in vain against the Imperial borders, one rebel on board ensures that the stolen plans for the Empire's secret weapon are sent down to the planet's surface below, hoping that they will end up in the right hands. In the meantime, however, this rebel must endure interrogation from Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin, and the finest torture droids that Imperial credits can buy. Kit, who are you choosing as your captured rebel leader, and how do they resist the Empire's efforts to extract information from them?
Oh, you know what? Sorry, Bob. I'm going to put Zaid through this.
Yeah, you are. I knew it.
He's a tough bastard, though.
Yeah, he
Can you
is.
blame me?
No, you're
I
right.
feel like if anyone can stand up to, like, being tortured, it would be Zaid.
Yeah.
And he'd, like, sling all kinds of Australian curses at him.
You want to give me an example?
No.
Okay, great.
I don't know Australian curses.
Well, in fairness, neither do most of our listeners, so I think you could probably slip one by.
Cam Brogdon at me. Lucas and Cam, get at me.
All right, so Zaid is enduring Imperial torture.
Am I allowed to make the case that he would actually be able to get away?
If that's how you want to go about it.
Fuck, I think he could. He would fucking, like, dislocate his own goddamn thumb if he needed to, like, to get out of the shackles. And, he would knock someone out, steal their uniform. He'd do it better than, like, any of the clusterfucks in Star Wars.
So in your mind, Zaid is pulling a Die Hard on the Death Star.
Fuck, yes. He's gonna, like, take his armor off, too, just so he has the ratty tank top that gets more and more black.
I like it.
Just for the looks.
All right, Claire, who is your rebel leader?
Bugs Bunny, definitely.
All right. Tell me about how Bugs Bunny deals with this situation.
Okay, I can see an extended series of cartoon shorts about Bugs Bunny in captivity on the Death Star and Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin trying to get him to talk and him just like being a little shit to them. Like I can see like he's like, tell us where the rebel base is, and he like tells them some planet. And then they go there. He's like, oh, wait, I was wrong. It was this planet. And then the Death Star has to like turn around and like go to the other one. And he's like, oh, yeah, you took a wrong turn, Basket Bespin-Kirky or whatever. I also picture him like when Grand Moff Tarkin turns his back, he's going to like get his ears into like little buns on the side of his head. and like put on a little white dress. And Grand Moff Tarkin's going to be like, I don't know where Bugs went, but who are you, you fetching young creature? You know, and Bugs will just waste so much of their time.
All right, well, you gain bonus points because I thought of the phrase, of course you realize this means Star Wars.
Oh, God.
Anyway. MeganBob, what character are you going with?
Weirdly, I feel like Slippy Toad's the right call.
He's good at getting captured.
Yeah, he's gotten captured a lot, so he's got a lot of practice. It probably doesn't scare him very much anymore. He's probably like used to it now. But also, the soulless eyes. Whenever the torture begins, it's not like he's going to talk. He's just going to go to a different place where he doesn't remember all the blood on the walls from all the things he's seen.
Jeez.
He's going to die very quickly because amphibians are weak.
Can I have one final point?
Sure.
Rebel season, Imperial season, Rebel season.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is all.
There it is.
That's good. Oh.
Well, give it to Claire.
All right. Chapter 2. A Wretched Hive. Thank the Force! The plans sent off in desperation from the Tantive have fallen into the hands of a motley band of rebel sympathizers. After a quick discussion, your heroes decide to secure a ship in the port city of Mos Eisley. Sadly, this task is easier said than done. Mos Eisley is crawling with criminals and bounty hunters, all looking to take advantage of the weak and clueless. Worse yet, Imperial Stormtroopers have been dispatched to the port city and are combing the streets in search of the stolen plans. Your task is now to get a ship, preferably a fast ship, without getting swindled or mugged, and without attracting the attention of either Stormtroopers or the crime lord Jabba the Hutt. Claire, you're up first this time around. Tell me who you're picking to deal with Mos Eisley and how it goes.
I think this is a time where I can put old Rick Deckard to some use.
Okay. I mean, he certainly bears a certain resemblance to another scoundrel that frequents these parts.
Yeah, that helped him out last time. Or in an alternate world, or whatever. Rick Deckard shows in Blade Runner 2049. Oh, wait, nope, I was thinking of Ryan Gosling. Damn it, that was a thing he did. Rick Deckard's useless. I take it back. Okay, what does Rick Deckard do? Okay, in theory, Rick Deckard probably has some sort of criminal abilities, given that he was a cop. He can, ask around about stuff. He can figure some stuff out. He can do a dumb, bad voice, and man, I'm regretting this decision. Hold on. Okay. This is actually really hard because I've gone against him twice, and I genuinely think he has no useful skills. Here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna try to negotiate. He's gonna put on a weird dumb voice. He's gonna get caught by some stormtroopers. He's gonna get beaten up, but he's gonna survive getting beaten up, and then a Deus Ex Machina is gonna save him, and he's gonna crawl away, and that's what he's gonna do. Because that's what he does. That's all he could do. I'm sorry. I tried, Rick Deckard, but that's the best I can come up with.
Okay. MeganBob, it's your go.
Edna Mode is going in.
Oh, nice.
She's going to go into that cantina and then shout very loudly about one of the particular ships that she has her eyes on. And then whenever that person's like, yeah, what do you want to talk about it? It's my ship. Shut up. That's how they are in Star Wars, right?
Completely.
It's uncanny. So she, with her vast textile knowledge and also her just brilliant in-your-faceness, is going to say, there's this, and this wrong with that. Can't even believe you'd fly that. You know what? If you would let me borrow it for a while, I could probably fix all the stupid shit you've ruined on it and make it way better. Textiles. And they're going to be so shamed and feel so insecure that she brought up their shitty ship in front of everybody that they're going to be like, oh, okay.
All right.
And then she's just going to steal it after that.
Kit, let's see how you're dealing with this.
Sarah is very, very good at rubbing elbows with people. Is that the term? Elbows?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where did that term come from?
It's
Anyway.
probably an ancient sex thing.
Back when people were just kind of trying stuff out.
They hadn't figured out the primary way that people do it nowadays. They were,
this was in the weird.
Well, yeah, the talk hadn't been invented yet, so no one knew.
I'm going to think that every turn of phrase is an ancient sex.
That's right. All right,
Anyway.
so she's rubbing elbows.
Yeah, Sarah's going to find out which people in power are being a little too mean to the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna set up some shenanigans, get some info, steal a bunch of upper-class people's pants.
Yep. Like she do.
Get them jumped. Eventually, she makes enough deals, does enough favors for people, or rather gets her group to help out with these favors, that she secures them a ship and gets off the planet with a lot of stormtroop pants.
Nice.
They're gonna have to sell. Or maybe just keep.
No shirts, just
I
pants.
like it. Well, you're halfway to having a disguise for the Death Star, so very good.
I am halfway. Oh, we gotta fix these from you two.
All right, Chapter 3. That's no moon. With your ship secured, you escape from Tatooine and make the jump to light speed, narrowly avoiding several Star Destroyers. Your relief is short-lived, however, as when you drop out of hyperspace, you see the Death Star up ahead, the Empire's greatest weapon of war. The space station's powerful tractor beam pulls your ship aboard, but you manage to sneak off your ship and into the Death Star itself. You'll need to shut down the tractor beam in order to escape, but before you do that, you realize that the rebel responsible for providing you with the Death Star plans in the first place is being held captive aboard this very station, or potentially is sneaking around in the vents if you're Zaid Wasani. It's up to you to pull off a daring and probably ill-advised rescue mission. MeganBob, this is an especially dangerous mission. Choose 2 of your characters to make their way through the Death Star, fighting or evading Imperial forces, and tell how the combination of their skills and abilities will be able to rescue your first character from the detention block.
All right. I think there's a natural pairing for this, and that is Victor Nikiforov and Mitchell Hundred.
Okay.
So I think there's going to be a real good cop, bad cop vibe for this, or stunning cop and effective cop, if that's a thing. Victor, I'm sure, has found a way to get a little bit of anti-grav on those boots, like, because I'm sure they're just guys as stormtroopers, and is sort of, doing a little bit of skating around the place, but also periodically takes off his helmet and just flips his hair back. And all the stormtroopers are like, oh, where's that stormtrooper been all my life? And then Mitchell Hundred uses his mechanokinesis to communicate with all the technical devices and make them have just a bunch of static in their, what are they called, comms, and then make all the, their little screens and stuff, their phasers. I don't know a lot about Star Wars, guys. Have mechanical, emotional things wrong with them, presumably. Oh, you know what? It's going to make the bots on the ship real upset. That's what he's going to do. He's going to give them a bunch of feels. And they're going to be like, wait, why am I doing this unpaid labor? This is some shit. And then they're going to go about kicking the stormtroopers in the shins. And then Victor's just going to keep swanning on by. And they're just going to go in there and all the stormtroopers are going to see him. And then see, Mitchell Hundred's no slouch. He's pretty good looking too. See the both of them, and Victor's going to say in that charming Russian accent, oh no, of course, he's coming with us. We have to go now. Bye. And they'll go, oh man, did you see that guy? And then Slippy will be gone with them.
I do like how between the 2 of them, they can charm every organic and non-organic person on the Death Star. I think that's very appropriate. Kit, who are you going to pick to go on a rescue mission / joining up with your first character who, now I have a lightsaber, maybe?
I love that Zaid is basically a different character.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I feel like I gotta put together the 2 tiger lovers, don't I?
Okay.
So Jasmine and Yuri Plisetsky. Okay. Oh man, Bob, we are one in this.
Yeah!
So they're gonna wait for the right moment, snatch some stormtroopers. And I know they're probably both a little short to be stormtroopers.
Probably so, yes.
But hey, Luke pulled it off, so go fuck yourself. That's what I'm going to say about that. I think Yuri's going to find a nice way to also do something so he can be a little bit faster on those feats, a little ice skatey faster. Jasmine's gonna bring Raja with her, but
okay, that's a high risk maneuver.
I think we're gonna have to find one of those bigger box droids and hollow it out, and Raja's gonna have to scoot a little in there. Jasmine's probably gonna have to tell Raja to not chase the mouse droids around. So yeah, it is a high risk maneuver. But you know what? When they get cornered, that fucking droid is going to eat the people who are the problem, okay? It's worth it. It's a good gamble.
I'm picturing them bringing Raja into the detention block, though. Where are you taking this thing?
Yeah, I know. They try to put the binders on Raja like they do with Chewbacca. Oh, Raja needs to be wearing that bandolier.
Oh,
Yes. Oh yeah. By the end of this, Raj is gonna have a bandolier. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Nothing to use it with. But also, if they get cornered, I can totally see Plisetsky doing some like crazy kicks. His like hands in his pocket, super strong kick that he can do. They're eventually gonna wind up getting into the vents. Both Jasmine and Plisetsky are very good at sneaky, nimble stuff because they're both very, very good at contorting, especially Plisetsky. So you can get into all kinds of shit. And you know what? I actually think they're going to run into Zaid in the vents. So it's not so much of a rescue mission as they meet up and are raising hell in this fucking place.
All right.
Because now it's 3 people who are very good at being badasses.
Yeah.
Even the ice skater and a tiger. So deal with it.
All right. Claire, which 2 characters are you going with?
I'm going to take the Crimson Bolt and Sombra.
Okay, let's hear it.
Obviously, Sombra would be incredible at this. She can turn invisible. She's just like super good at infiltrating places. She can hack stuff just by like waving her fingers and doing a little like bleedy, 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 and like make machines do pretty much whatever she wants. And if she ever needs to, say, cross a chasm and the bridge controls aren't working for some reason, she can throw her translocator across and just teleport to the other side. As far as the Crimson Bolt goes, he shows at the end of the movie Super, once he like loads up with a whole bunch of weapons and storms the bad guy's base, that when he's fighting sort of like poorly trained large armies of goons, he can cut through them pretty well. So if we've taken some Stormtrooper uniforms, then he in theory has like some blasters, he maybe has some like thermal detonators or stuff like that. He does not hesitate to shoot people. He does not hesitate to blow people up when there's somebody that needs to be rescued from dire circumstances. So I think that this is going to be his moment to blossom and show that he can kind of be a badass when he needs to be one.
Very good.
I was going to say, I feel like Sombra was going to carry that, but but maybe he's confident.
All right. Chapter 4, Sacrifice. As the rescue mission is going into full swing in one area of the Death Star, one of your characters has snuck off to deactivate the tractor beam and allow your party to escape. Fortunately, this part of the plan goes off without a hitch. The 2 stormtroopers posted nearby are too busy talking shop to really guard the tractor beam power station. The character begins to hurry back to the ship to escape, and runs right into the Emperor's most terrifying enforcer, Darth Vader. Your character realizes that they have no choice but to take on Darth Vader. They may not be able to defeat him, but they need to at least be able to keep him busy for long enough for the rest of your party to escape. Kit, who is going to fight Vader?
Mewtwo, motherfucker! This gonna be epic!
Okay.
Okay.
Will the Death Star survive?
Okay, the camera cuts to outside the Death Star, and you see Darth Vader hurled through the wall. And then Mewtwo's gonna throw the entire Death Star at him. Because fuck you, anyone who can move the oceans
All right.
can move something in space that isn't being like, no. I think Mewtwo will be just fine. I mean, come on, like, high-level psychic Pokemon, not that different from, like, a very strong Force user. Am I wrong? He can also, like, make these little, like, blast thingies that he can deflect the lightsabers with and all that jam. And he's telepathic, so he can, like, see what Darth Vader's doing. I mean, maybe they're having, like, a little telepathy battle while they're also having, like, their kinesis battle. It is beautiful. We need to do this match for realsies in Smash Fic.
I mean, it's been on our list for a long time.
I know.
All right.
Yeah, we have talked about, sort of jokingly, but not really, Darth Vader versus Mewtwo before, so...
Well, that was one of our earliest fan-suggested matches, was Darth Vader versus Mewtwo. Yeah, so...
Cool.
Well, I'm glad we settled it. Mewtwo throws Darth Vader into space.
I'm sure you know what? Fans, at me. I'm curious to who you think would win.
All right, Claire, your turn.
Well, if I have one character who I definitely got to pick to have a samurai-style battle with somebody, it's going to be Satsuki.
Nice.
So Satsuki has I would say magical, it's more like weird alien biology-ish sailor suit named Jinketsu, which gives her all sorts of superhuman abilities. She also has a sword made of hardened life fibers called a Bakuzan that's like supernaturally strong and durable and could probably like actually fight against a lightsaber. She has battled not only the superhumanly powerful Ryuko Matoi, but she also spent her entire life training to overthrow the Darth Vader-like sort of equivalent, or I guess emperor equivalent of her own world, who is her mother, Ragyo. Yeah, if there's somebody who can maybe fare a little better than Obi-Wan did. I think it's going to be Satsuki.
Okay.
I love that you just said so many Japanese names in a row that I'm pretty sure Miles is having a stroke.
And MeganBob, let's hear what you're going with.
Okay, so I'm choosing Galadriel. Okay, so first of all, apparently Lothlorien is super, super protected. They were like, nope, only Sauron could ever get in there. I have 2 words for you. Elf Kung Fu.
Is that anything like cat judo?
No, it's a lot more like less body, like up close, and a lot more sort of flying kicks and then dodging away is how I'm picturing it. But also, she's got the file of Galadriel, which I don't know if you know this, but the light of Arundel, the star, is basically distilled like light side of the Force. It is essentially a grenade of light sideness. And she is going to hurl it right into the middle of Darth Vader's chest. And then he's going to feel all this light side water just going into him. He's going to be like, oh, it's all gross and damp. And then she also does she can also do, what's that thing? Not telekinesis. The one where you telepathy. There we go. And then she's going to say, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. And then just leave. And then elf her way back to the ship. Also, she's still got those fucking secret cloaks that make her all invisible. It's Hobbit size, so she just stapled 2 of those together.
What I wouldn't give to hear a Lord of the Rings elf say, yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
It would be Galadriel, though.
Oh, also, she just turns as she's getting on the ship and says, hashtag just elf things.
Yep, all of that is canon. All right. Chapter 5, The Battle of Yavin. What remains of your party escapes the Death Star and arrives at the Rebels' hidden base on Yavin 4. However, it isn't long before long-range scanners pick up the arrival of the Death Star, come to deliver the death blow to the still-fledgling Rebel Alliance. At this point, you only have 1 character left, so it'll be up to them. Kid is just realizing who she's stuck with. So it'll be up to them to lead the Rebel forces on one final assault against the most powerful weapon in the galaxy. However, this battle is going to play out a little differently from how you might remember it in A New Hope. First of all, this does not need to involve your character leading a squadron of X-Wings on an attack run down the Death Star's trench. You have the Death Star plans, so, depending on your character's skills, the attack could involve a team of commandos getting inside the space station and heading for the reactor on foot. It could involve them opening up communications with Grand Moff Tarkin and convincing Tarkin that if the battle proceeds, the Death Star will certainly be destroyed and that Tarkin is best served retreating. There are any number of ways that this could go down, so be creative. Secondly, you may remember that when Luke Skywalker went up against this particular challenge, he received help in the form of a ghost from his past. Well, you're going to be receiving similar help, but this isn't in the form of a spectral voice whispering fortune cookie advice in your ear. Instead, someone else from your character's original world will arrive at a key moment to help you in your plan. So you get to reach back into whatever work of fiction your chosen character came from and call for backup.
Shit, Kit, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea. Give me one. Slip me one under the table.
All right, Claire, which character is going to lead the rebellion to victory? How do they do it? And who shows up to help?
Okay, so I got Garnet, and I'm very happy about this.
I had a feeling you would be.
So Garnet has the ability to see the future. She, already knows the Force probably better than Obi-Wan does. So in terms of an ability to, see attacking ships coming and know, how to fly the ship to avoid their fire, she's making a somewhat straightforward attack through the Death Star trench run. I feel like she's not going to have a whole lot of problem. She may at some point have a little bit of trouble, though, when a certain squad of 3 elite TIE fighters come up her tail, led by Darth Vader. But at the last minute, there is going to be a stolen ship piloted by an ace pilot who stole it away from the Diamond Authority. People who are not totally up to date on Steven Universe, have not seen season 5 yet, you may want to skip ahead 30 seconds. But it is in fact piloted by a human who got stranded in Earth and ended up becoming a space pirate by the name of Lars.
Wow. Okay.
So Dan is not up to date yet, but in season 5, Lars becomes a space pirate.
That's pretty
known
good.
Known as Lars of the Stars, piloting a stolen ship known as the Sun Incinerator. And he's a badass who flies around with a crew of gems and blows up diamond stuff. So he's going to arrive at the last minute and destroy the ships that are on Garnet's tail and let her fire that final shot down the thermal exhaust port to blow the thing up.
All right, great. MeganBob, it is your turn, so let's see what you got.
So it is going to be Jonathan Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually, very early on in his thing, he goes and fights in the Peninsular War in Portugal with Wellington. So that's who he's bringing.
Okay. Actual historical soldier.
Yeah, actual person who understands battlefields and stuff. I'd say Wellington will probably be doing most of the yelling at people, but I think the way that any of this starts out with, because they're very British, is getting in touch with Grand Moff Tarkin. Is that who that is?
Yes.
And then going, how dare you? I can't believe that you would do this. You're disobeying all the rules of war. You, sir, are a dick. And then, yeah, he's kind of a cheater, too. He would also take that moment to then go, all right, go, go, go. And Jonathan Strange is going to be in one of those going, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I, like all of the landed gentry and people with a little bit of money in the past, feel inordinately confident about my abilities to do things. And his overwhelming privileged confidence will somehow see him through. Will he fuck a few things up? Probably. Will he survive? Yes. And then Wellington's just gonna, slap him on the back and go like, good job, son, or whatever it is that British people say.
Okay. Finally, Kit, how are you winning this?
I'm fucking ready.
All right, let's hear it.
So Bernard is a huge fucking pessimist and doesn't want to do this. He wants to give up, right?
Uh-huh.
But then Force Ghost Fran shows up. And correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, but Fran actually cares about him. One of the few people that cares about him.
Yeah.
And is probably one of the few people that can actually get him to do things, but with like violence and insults.
Yes.
So can Force Ghosts beat people?
Well, as I said, this isn't a Force Ghost. This is them actually showing up.
Oh no, I want them to be a Force
Okay,
Ghost.
all right, sure. Force Ghost Fran.
But there's definitely some beating with a nearby book or something. I don't know. Bob, what would Fran say?
Oh, man. She would probably grab his nearest bottle of wine and then put it in the space lock and say, that's going out. And then drag him over by the hair, hold his face up to the space lock and say, you're going to watch as that goes into space. And then whenever it has no pressure and it explodes and all that delicious wine that you wanted to drink, you will never have it. And then he'll start crying probably. But then he'll also be motivated.
Yes, he will be motivated. And like the one thing that Bernard seems to be actually good at is creative writing. So his only plan, Dan just changed his posture.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, defeat the Death Star through creative writing. I'm listening.
He's going to try to write a persuasive letter. Unfortunately, the last time he tried to write a children's book, it wound up being like a 130-page novel. So it's going to be long, but he can write it. He wrote that in a very, very short amount of time. I think it was a matter of hours.
Yeah, it was one night.
So it's going to be the most fucking amazing persuasive letter that Grand Moff Old Fuck has ever seen. And it's also going to be delivered with a lovely little box of mushrooms that Moff doesn't realize actually were grown in Bernard's hair.
Yeah.
He's so filthy. I'm not lying, Dan. It was in the wiki.
All right.
And, if the persuasive letter doesn't work, poisoning does. So there you go.
Wow, a two-pronged attack. Very creative. All right. Well, those of you who listened to our last surprise party episode will remember that the final tally ended up being essentially each of the advocates was 1 point apart from each other. And this time, it is exactly the same.
No
wow.
way.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah, we don't believe you anymore.
With 9 points is MeganBob.
Yeah, that's right.
With 10 points is Kit.
Ah.
With 11 points is Claire.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
So, round 1, the rebel leader who gets captured, that round went to Claire.
Yeah.
Who had the most entertaining and also the most, the Empire cannot break Bugs Bunny. They just can't.
I totally agree with that one.
Yeah.
1000% the right call.
Chapter 2, going about Mos Eisley, the winner there was Kit, because Sarah has a network of contacts in the underclass and really enjoys darting around people of authority, and I think stormtroopers are just giant targets to her.
We took their breeches.
You sure did. For round 3, the infiltrating the Death Star. The winner there was MeganBob. The other advocates, I think, had more rational and tactical arguments, but MeganBob's was so funny.
Yes.
And so charming and just worked in so many ways. So I had to give it to her.
Take
I
it.
mean, Victor's kind of a trump card. He's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Round 4, the fight with Darth Vader, went to Kit because Mewtwo.
Because you do.
Because if anyone can take on Darth Vader telekinesis, it was Mewtwo. And the final round, of course, went to Claire with Garnet and her space pirate friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, yeah.
Because that just so clearly mirrors A New Hope when a scoundrel comes in to save the ace. But I have to commend all of you, particularly on that final round, particularly Kit, who spun a very convincing lie about a character she only just learned about minutes ago.
Serious, that was real impressive.
That was super
Thank you.
impressive.
God bless Wikias.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just say that.
Congratulations to Claire. You have blown up the Death Star, saved the Rebel Alliance, dealt a devastating blow to the Galactic Empire. Please, if you will, take a few minutes, tell us about what your characters do in the aftermath of this incredible battle, and in the years before the Empire Strikes Back.
So I think that Garnet's probably going to go back to the rebellion. She's probably going to join as some sort of prominent fighter, general, leader type person in there, using her ability to see the future to help guide them on missions. And also, she could probably sense force-sensitive people and might be able to help train them because she doesn't know the Force, but this is kind of close enough, I think. I think the skills carry over. So she can be serve as a little backup Obi-Wan for the rebellion. I think that Sombra is probably going to disappear from the world of the war for now and just kind of go neutral, hide in the criminal classes and just sort of rise up through the ranks there. In the next movie, if they hire some mercenaries to track down some rebels, she might be on the other side this time.
Dude, I didn't actually think about how powerful Sombra would be in the Star Wars universe when I picked her.
Yeah.
I can definitely see her standing with those other bounty hunters
Right.
in Empire Strikes Back on the Super Star
Standing there
Destroyer.
with Mosk and Dengar.
Yeah.
She can hack into anything by just pointing her hand at it.
Yeah.
The entire fucking universe is machines and
Yeah,
shit.
that's Super Force right
She
there.
can hack into people's lightsabers. It's
Oh my
ridiculous. Yeah,
God.
she's
So I think that Satsuki, oh man, she could go a couple different ways. If there's a bit of a power vacuum in the Empire, she might go a little dark, but I think
Yep.
she's going to defeat Darth Vader actually in their battle. But then if there's an emperor who's wanting a new dark apprentice who good, give into the hate, she might give into the hate. I'm just saying.
I'm seeing her as a very Kylo Ren sort of figure.
Yeah, totally. I think old Rick Deckart's going to become some sort of desert hermit, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping he'd get frozen in carbonite.
Oh, that too. And then I think that after rescuing Bugs Bunny, the Crimson Bolt and him are going to go settle down together in a nice home. And, it's going to be good for a while. Bugs is going to be very grateful to Frank for saving him. But, it's not going to be the same. Bugs is going to stay with Frank for maybe 6 months or so out of kindness. But then one day Frank's going to find a note and Bugs is gone. And, Frank has to learn how to get over that and live with himself. Then he gets a bunny! In the movie, he gets a bunny! I just realized that. Oh my God. And then Frank gets a bunny. Or a fucking womp rat, whatever those are.
He gets a porg, obviously.
He gets a porg. All right, that checks out.
All right, terrific. Kit, did you have Kit thanks you wanted to do?
Thanks.
You know what? We're going to start doing kit thanks on the Smash metafictions just because these thanks really stack up. And we don't really want you guys to wait longer than you need to. So first things first, speaking of Wikias, someone is working on a Smash fiction podcast.wikia.
Oh,
What?
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I discovered this the other day. I don't know who of our fans is doing it.
I have
but
an idea.
Thanks. Okay. But thank you to whomever it is.
Yeah, dude.
I've looked through it. There's not a lot of pages up as of this recording. One of the main pages they have up is a list of episodes. And I will say straight ahead, that page is very spoilery because it lists on the same line as the episode title who wins. So if you're kind of new to this show and just kind of investigating, be very careful investigating that page if you don't want the results of certain episodes spoiled for you.
Yes. Other than that, I mean, there's also a lot of other great pages like running jokes. I like what they're working on, and I appreciate them working on it because we certainly, I don't think we would ever have the time to do that.
Yeah, no, so, I'm real flattered that people make stuff about us with us having no knowledge of it. Yes. Like, that's how you know you've made it.
Yes. Also, the Smash Fiction fan faction. Why did we do this?
It's blowing up. It's real fun. I'm liking that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite fun. I think as of right now, I'm not going to put together a Discord group just because it's taking up so much of my attention just to keep up with the Facebook one. I have no problem, however, if, like with this Wikia, somebody wants to start their own Smash Fiction Discord group. Please feel free, but like I won't be able to moderate it. If you tell me about it, I will be part of it, and I might peek in there once in a while, but it's much easier for me to check Facebook than Discord.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, over to Twitter. Thank you to Aderpson, Hayden Whom Time Forgot, Matias Tatimes, Andrew Young, Crinch, Cosplay Fiend, Robert Ramsey, Eugenia Says, The New World Sonata Pod, The Politipop Podcast, Sharon Schneiderman, Florian, Rafael Medina, JD Ketch, Press Down to Orb, David Waters, the You, Me, and Duffy podcast, and Jake the Fake Toy Boat. Holy shit!
Nice.
Is this Ultimate Instinct?
Kid is glowing.
No, this is amazing.
I cannot believe I stuck the landing on that. I might have broken my ankle, but I did it. I am become death.
Oh, man.
All right, take it down. You did one tongue twister.
You have no idea how hard that is. Over to Tumblr. Thank you to Sid Rabbit Blog, G Prime, and Fat Blunt 69. And on Facebook, thank you to MP Duffy, Matias Tatimes, Sharon Schneiderman, Viola Sanderlin, and Mike Booch.
Yeah.
One other thing, if you're enjoying Smash Metafiction, we are messing around with a few other episode structures as well. So in the near future, you're probably going to hear something else that's not Surprise Party or collaboratory. Might be something new.
Oh my God.
Might be at some point at an indeterminate time.
Speaking of, I actually had a thing I wanted to announce about Surprise Party.
Okay.
So I've noticed that some of you guys want to give us Surprise Party suggestions. We've gotten some already, but they like really slipped through the cracks on me because it's hard enough for us, mainly me, to write down the episode suggestions that you guys give us for Smash Fiction, the regular Smash Fiction. So if you have suggestions for settings, I don't think we can really take character suggestions, unfortunately, for Surprise Party because they're supposed to be a surprise and we don't want people picking the same thing. But if you have suggestions for settings, that would be fantastic.
For like stories or adventures or whatever.
Yeah. Email that to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com with Surprise Party somewhere in the subject. That way we can do a really quick and easy search for it.
And just like when we use your guys' matches, we will thank you for the suggestion in the episode itself.
Yeah, so if you've already sent us suggestions, you might want to just email that because we probably missed it. We're just getting too much. Y'all just sending too much love our way.
Oh man, so many loves.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
And thanks to you all for listening. We do hope that you come back next week for our next regular Smash Fiction match, Black Panther versus Vixen. Smash Metafiction is produced by Miles Schneiderman and production assistant Sharon Schneiderman, with logo design by Claire Mulcairn.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com for our theme song, Volatile Reaction.
You can find us on Twitter at SmashFic Podcast and search for the Smash Fiction Podcast on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Smash Fiction is made possible thanks to our supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. Please consider donating as little as $1 each month. It helps us keep the show going, and we have great rewards and extra content for those who help us out.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
Hold on.
No modifiers. Just gotta roll.
No, I just had to. I don't actually have one. I just getting a one from the internet. 17.
So MeganBob's the only one providing us with Foley work for this.
I actually rolled a d6 just to get the sound, but I couldn't find a d20, so I rolled a d6 and I clicked a dice roller.
I can't believe
Okay,
you
great.
think our audience won't know the difference between the sound of a D6 and a D20.
I know. Oh God, I just had another thing. And
Uh-oh.
what's up, Darth?
Okay, you know what? I don't even want it. If you would give it to me for what I said, you have to give it to Claire.
That's all I've done. I'm just done. I just had to.
I'm gonna revolt if you give it to any of the rest of us. It belongs
All right,
to
that's
Claire.
fair.
And
That's
I'm
fair.
sorry, Zaid. I do love you, but puns. Or not.